Hi, Year 2. You have been amazing geographers for the last couple of weeks, and it is now time for us to change our state of being. So, I get the very exciting job to reveal what that is going to be, and I'm going to start with a clue. So, some of you might recognize what is happening. We are going back in time. Can you guess what that means we are becoming? Were you right? We are going to be historians. We are going to be learning all about a new period in history that we've never learnt about before. It is very, very exciting. So we are going to start by going back in time and having a look at all the different parts of history that we've already learnt about. And we're going to start where the blue circle is on my slide, where we are the year 2020, and we're going to go back in time all the way back to the mysterious question mark in the corner, which is the period of history that we're going to be looking at. So we are starting our timeline on the year that we are in now, which is the year 2020. We are in year 2. So this is where we're starting. And then we're going to go back in time. So the circle has moved to the year 2013, which was the year that lots of you were born. We're then going to go back in time again. And the next important event on our timeline is here. It's the year 2000, and that marked the turn of a new millennium. And a millennium is a period of 1,000 years. So there was a big celebration on the year 2000. We're going to go back in time again. Can you see what the next step on our timeline is? It's the 1990s, and during these years, from 1990 to 2000, this is the year that your teachers were born. We're going to go further back in time again to the year 1926, and that's when Queen Elizabeth, our Queen, was born. So we've gone quite far back now. We're on the year 1901, which is 119 years ago. And that was the year that Queen Victoria died. So if you can remember, that marked the end of the Victorian era because it meant that Queen Victoria was no longer the Queen of England and the Victorian era ended. The next step on our timeline is 1861, and that was the year that Prince Albert died. Can you remember what Queen Victoria did after Prince Albert died? Do you remember? She wore black for the rest of her life because it made her so sad. Can you see what the next step on our timeline is going to be? So we've now gone back to 1845, which is the year that the SS Great Britain, which is the ship designed by, can you remember? Isambard Kingdom Brunel. It made its first voyage. It sailed from Liverpool all the way to New York in America. So we have gone back to the year 1837, which is the year of Queen Victoria's coronation. If you can remember, there was that big ceremony that they had in London, and Victoria was crowned our queen. So the final step on our timeline before we go back to the very mysterious period of history that we're going to be learning about is 1829, and that is the year that Isambard Kingdom Brunel designed the Clifton Suspension Bridge. But he never got to see the bridge fully built. Can you remember why? That's because he died before it was finished. So we have now reached the period of history that we are going to be learning about. A period of history is a time in history. It's normally marked by important events that happened. The period of history that we are looking at was from 1660 to 1666, and that's 354 years ago. A very, very long time ago, and the name of that period of history is called the Restoration period. So we are not going to tell you what happened during the Restoration period today, but I am going to explain what this new word restoration means. You might not have heard it before. Restoration is a noun, and it means the act of returning something to its earlier good condition owner or position. So, for example, you might have a toy, and if it were broken and you were to fix it, that means you have restored it, you have returned it to its earlier good condition, you have made it better to what it was like before. If you were to find a toy and you knew who it belonged to and you gave it back to that person, that means you have restored it to its owner. You've given it back to its owner. Now, your clue as to what happened during the restoration period is that it involved a king, and there's a picture of that king on this slide. So your activity today is to think about what you think might have happened during the restoration period. And we gave you some clues. You can write those down in your exercise book if you would like. And then if you'd like an extra challenge, you can use this video to help you. Can you list 3 important events that have happened since the restoration period? So they could have been some of the important events in history that we've been through on our timeline, or you could think of some extra ones that maybe we didn't mention. Miss Rudman has put a gallery of all your amazing writing on the Year 2 website, so have a little look and see if you can spot yourself on there. If not, keep sending us pictures of your work because we love to see it.